Hey guys, welcome to Jeremy's Takeover Tuesday at the Acoustic Shop, where I'm going to be taking over the entire shop. I'm normally next door in the offices, which would be really entertaining. We should film that over there. I've been working on Excels and Zapier connections all day today in automations, so that's been a lot of fun. Trying to automate our shipping procedure a little bit more. Guys, shipments are going crazy. We're doing about 40 to 50 shipments per week, which I'm sure on Amazon levels is pretty small, but that's a lot of guitars and mandolins and banjos and whatnot accessories. So thank you guys so much for ordering online. Speaking of, we are down to our last F5G from Gibson, and this will be the last one we have on order until they have the new version of it, which is coming out. It'll be the 2023 model of the F5G. Different specs, we've gone over that before, but this is the last of its kind right now. We do have 3 F9s, the custom Acoustic Shop F9s available right now. And that's it. Actually, we just got a notification. We got an F7 that is being delivered tomorrow. So that's the last of the F7s that may be built, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm guessing at least 2 to 3 years before they open up any new models, because they are kind of streamlining right now, going down to 2 models only for the year of 2023. So that may be the last F7 built. So check those out. We did have a couple questions already, wasn't that correct, Hinkley? Okay, currently we don't have any mandolas in stock. I own the 800 series from Eastman Mandola, which I love, a great mandolin. The cool thing is Eastman came out with a 300 series, so it'd be the 315 MDA, which would be the mandola. And the great thing about that is a mandola, it's, in case people aren't familiar, it's like a viola, but a mandolin version of the viola. So it's tuned to a CGDA, so just tuned a little, fifth down lower. You don't probably use those as often unless you're in a mandolin orchestra and you're the mandola instrumentalist, but it has a really cool sound. You can play everything the same exact way you play it on the mandolin, but now you're in the key of C. So you don't use it quite as often, so a reasonably priced one, which that 300 series, I think it's around $800, $875, $900, somewhere, I can't say, $900? So right around there, so the same price range as the mandolin. Great option there. I don't know if we've got any on order. I think they put those on hold a little bit, again, trying to keep up with the demand of their standard mandolins. But we normally try to have at least one of those in stock, so we can get one of those soon. Also with the 800 series. So that 800, I think, are closer to that $1,800 range on those.
Do you think that you could give your opinion on the bourgeois mandolin versus its closest competitor to Northfield?
That's, I would like to give you a very detailed comparison. I've only got to play Northfields like 4 times maybe. One of them I spent a good couple hours at their booth at the IBMA show out in Raleigh, North Carolina. Great mandolins. They're doing a really good job. We would love to carry those in here right now. They're unable to keep up with production to fulfill all the orders they have with current dealers. So we're hoping one of those dealers drops out and then we can take it over. So I can't give you a really close comparison. I've only got to play 2 of the F styles. One was when we were up there touring their workshop when they first got the very first prototype. And then they mailed us one here about 2 months ago. And you guys, if you're following, you've seen me play that in the live stream probably 4 or 5 times since we got it. And it's a killer mandolin in that price range. It's got a lot of things that I really love. One is the fully torrefied, so it's a maple back and sides are torrefied. The spruce top is Adirondack spruce top is torrefied neck. It just has a really open, full sound for a brand new mandolin. And the more I play it, the more I hear that thing opening up. So I'm pretty excited about those. I know they're going to be showcasing them at the NAMM show next month, which that's coming up real quick. That's like 2.5 weeks away. So second week of April, we'll be out at the NAMM show, and they are going to have some of those at the Eastman booth and the Bourgeois booth, both, I think, kind of combining those two. So really excited to see some more of those. I'm not sure the ship date yet. They're kind of putting that back a little farther, so it could be closer to June or July before we get our first orders of those in. But very excited about those. I wish I could give you a really clear answer how it would compare to the Northfields. I would say it'd be very comparable to, in that price range from Northfield. I would say you're going to get a really excellent mandolin out of both those. Just kind of depends if you like that honey blonde that is in that Bourgeois, very cool instrument.
Somebody said Matt does a great job in the shipping department, and they like the personalized notes.
Yay, Matt. We will share that information with Matt. He does do a great job. And like I said, with the shipments going out, when we hired him on, we said we need a new shipping guy because we're getting up to 18 to 20 shipments a week, and now we're double that. And it's constantly growing. So good job, Matt, keeping up with that. And this team, man, they've got a routine worked out where these guys pick orders, get them all ready for Matt. He gets them shipped. And then it's great to know that you guys are getting that communication from Matt. So we will share that information with him. I want to show you guys something cool that you just got in this week that I like a whole bunch. You know that one of my former Mandolin students, Mark Montgomery, is a great artist, and he's done a lot of these prints. We got the Flattened Scruggs. Bill Monroe is hidden back here. Bill Monroe. Jimmy Martin is the latest addition that he's just come up with, and I love this so much. Check that out. He's got. We have stickers also available in that, but these are the very first of those prints, and he did a bang out job again. I have a, here's the sticker. Thank you, Hinkley. Look at that. Perfectly die cut sticker for your collection. You can have you're gonna get like all the legends of bluegrass music here. We got the Flat Scruggs sticker, the Bill Monroe sticker, and we'll see what he's got coming next. But these, what kind of case could be out there without that? And then of course you can throw a Chapman's one in there for, for giggles, talking about legends in their own minds. Anyway, yeah, Mark does a great job with those. Very excited to have the Jimmy Martin. We were talking the other day. I'd love to get him to do a Doc Watson because we're going to be going to the Merle Fest at the end of April. So he said, see what he can do on that. I was kind of giving him a pretty short time frame on that.
What would be comparable to the Northfield Octave Archtop guitar body mandolin?
Those are really cool. I got to play, like I said, at the IBMA show. I played one of those for a long time. Really, right now, I know that Weber did do some of the Archtop guitar body octave mandolins, but then they switched more to the F style as their real common one. Gibson's the only other one that I think really is comparable, but quite a bit more expensive in that Archtop body. Eastman obviously is doing that in a style model. They do have a octave or a cello, which is using a full Archtop guitar body. I have one of those, which is very fun to play, but much bigger and again limited usage. I've been able to play it on quite a few cool songs just for fun, but for an Archtop, that's probably your best priced one if you can get one. I know that getting one of those available is hard to get even from Northfield. I had a whole blast with that one playing that one there, and I think Sierra Hull was over there playing it for a while too. Great octave mandolin.
Are you familiar with Altman mandolins, and are they worth the pretty penny?
Altman mandolins. I think those guys were at Spigma, if I'm not incorrect. They also build guitars. I got to verify that that's the same bunch I went to. But yeah, they were very pricey, very meticulous with their build. The one I played, if it is the same company, which I'm pretty sure it is, was very impressive. But again, there's always that you got to weigh what is important to you. Having a custom hand-built instrument from these guys that are building 1 and 2 instruments every 6 months, they got a lot of hours in those, so that's why that price really gets driven up there. And you got to weigh whether that is valuable to you as a consumer, if you can justify that cost. I mean, to some people, buying a Mercedes is not a big purchase. And to me, that's something I'm not going to be able to do in a long period of time. Same thing with instruments. Some people have a budget where buying a one-off custom instrument is not a big deal. It's not a big dent in their financial situation. So it's absolutely worth it because they put in a ton of hours to build these very pristine instruments. But for the general person that's just wanting an instrument they could play, it's probably hard to justify that extra expense for something that customized when you can just buy a very high quality instrument for a quarter or a tenth of the price.
Any news on Weber mandolins?
Yes, there is news on Weber mandolins. We actually flew, 2 weeks ago? We were up in Bend, Oregon. We went up there, visited Breedlove and Bedell, went to spend about 2 or 3 days there. Then we went over to Preston Thompson Guitars, got a factory tour there, got some custom builds started. And our last day of it, we went to see Ryan Fish, I didn't know that Ryan was only one of 2 guys really that were building the Weber mandolins for Two Old Hippies in the last pre-pandemic, so the last 2 or 3 years before the pandemic. Those guys were pumping out quite a few mandolins, great mandolins. The Webers we were getting in were all monster killer mandolins that didn't stay in the shop very long. And then COVID hit, the demand for guitars went through the roof. Breedlove Breedlove, Tom Bedell, he told us they could build 5 or 6 guitars for every single mandolin they could build. And, you know, to keep up with that demand, it made more sense to them to just shut down the mandolin division with Weber for a while, move all those guys over to building guitars and pump up that production there. Ryan, being a huge mandolin fan, said he started out as a guitar builder, but his passion is all about mandolins. So he actually bought the Weber company from Tom Bedell and 2 Old Hippies, and now it is owned by Ryan Fish and his wife. And we got to tour their workshop. It's taken them a while to get it all set up. They had to get dust collectors, all the right tooling, all the right heating and insulation in their shop to get everything right. They got all their wood supply that was part of the purchase. So we got some very cool, fun stuff coming from there. Some custom builds using some 45-year-old Adirondack spruce top. It's 45 years ago that Bruce Weber purchased it. It was actually an old violin maker's supply, so it could be even older than that, but it's a very cool old collection of Adirondack spruce. We're going to have them build some custom mandolins for the acoustic shop, but we should have our first mandolin within a month. I think the end of April, we're going to be getting a Road Dog from Weber. So very excited. They are going to be building, and we expect to get one of them every month. And he's only going to have 3 dealers in the entire world, and we are fortunate enough to be one of them. So very excited to get the Weber mandolins back out on the market. That was a long-winded answer for that.
The videos are also going to be coming out.
Ooh, when is that coming? Do you know?
Try and do that.
All right.
Hopefully before we get.
Hinckley's been editing the videos for that, so she is getting. We did a lot of footage up there. We wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on with Weber, so we filmed the whole meeting with them. And you guys know how good Hinckley and Trent are at putting these videos together. So look forward to seeing the Weber the rebooting of Weber mandolins. It'll be like the 3rd rebooting that they've had. So very excited that Ryan's taken that over, and he's a great builder. So if you are a Weber fan, you should be encouraged that Ryan is back in charge of the helm, at the helm.
Somebody's asking very specifically if we sell/play Martin treated authentic acoustic guitar strings, and maybe they could help with this question. Any bluegrass players like them in this region?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Everybody has a preference. Martin, one thing you should know is they don't actually build strings. They have them built by some of the other top guys. But they do have, to really get a good price on Martin strings and make a good enough margin, it definitely helps to be a Martin dealer. Right now we're not a Martin dealer, so we only carry a couple sets in there just to have some that we know people are fans of. We have the retros, which they got the Tony Rice Monal wound and also the Lawrence Juber nickel wound. So we got the 2 retro strings. I guess that would be Monal wound too, aren't they? And then this would be the Lawrence Juber version. And then we also carry these Silken Steel. The reason we love those is actually for beginner players. The tension on those is so low. It's 11.5 to 47. Very easy string to play on for the person just picking up their first guitar and may not have the calces built. But as far as they're treated, Martin, they have so many different ones, the SPs and the Authentics and all kinds of them. I know there's a lot of great players that like them. I know a lot of Martin fans want to put Martin strings on their Martin guitar that has a Martin guitar strap and a Martin case and a Martin, branded the whole way. I don't think that they are necessary unless you just really love that string. But if you like coated strings and you guys haven't already tried them, I am a big fan of the XS's. They're D'Addario's new version of a Elixir string. They don't fray like Elixir's been prone to do, and they last. I've got them on my guitar that I've used in my lesson studio back there, and I've also put them on my mandolin recently, and they've lasted about 3 or 4 months without really noticing any difference in the tone. So if you're a coated fan, I would definitely recommend trying out the new XS's from D'Addario. And speaking of D'Addario, we just got a huge shipment of D'Addario product in, which these guys are over here frantically with the price gun, just putting prices on the back of all of those. But we are going to be the official store for D'Addario strings at the Merle Fest at the end of the month out in North Carolina. So anything, they're going to have a booth set up, but any purchases will run through the shop. So we've got a whole bunch of gear. Like I was probably our biggest order we've done with D'Addario. Going to have all kinds of really cool merchandise out there, and a couple of the D'Addario reps. They're going to be sending over some of their artists that are at the festival to perform live from our booth, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We don't have a schedule selected yet, but we will be getting, some of it probably is just going to be random when they have some of their endorsed artists stop by the booth. They're going to say, hey, come over to the acoustic shop, we're going to film something live. So if you guys don't already have plans for the end of the month, it'll be the last week of April going into the 1st of May. We're going to be doing some live streaming from the booth with Deering artists, with some of the D'Addario artists, some of our friends that are at the festival. I know Nickel Creek's going to be there, which is really exciting to go see those guys. Afterwards, we're going to be going to the Kruger Brothers house out there and filming some collaboration stuff. So very fun, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the artists that Dario is going to be sending our way, and some new products I think that we're going to be highlighting over at the booth there that we haven't carried before.
We just do acoustic stuff.
Definitely tell people to pay attention to NAMM as well.
Yeah.
Pay attention to all of our
Yes, guys. If you haven't followed, if you're new to the channel, NAMM Show is basically like the CES of retail and music industry. It's got stuff that way outside of our wheelhouse. They've got band and orchestra and drums and electric guitars and pedals and electronics, all kinds of cool stuff. They got whole sections on just like mixers and doing some kind of weird kind of sounds that I've never. We're gonna send Hingley over there, make some weird tones. But we always do a lot of live streaming from each booth. We do some fun stuff. We're gonna have Corey going for the first year, and we're gonna have Corey show reactions. So we'll send Corey out with a camera, and he'll talk about his experience at the NAMM show. That's going to be coming. I think we fly out on the 11th. The first day, the 13th of April, is going to be a big all-day training course for retail, and then the show goes live. We're going to be at the Eastman booth doing all kinds of showcases for new products, including that bourgeois mandolin, a whole bunch of other stuff that's kind of top secret that they're going to have, and other manufacturers will have as well. So make sure you guys tune in, because we don't even know when we're going to go live. You just got to have your phones ready.
You got a couple of mandolin string questions. Do we have light/medium Elixir mandolin strings?
We don't, and Elixir's quit making them, I believe. Elixir cut down on just about all, again, because of supply chain issues. They're pretty much just doing their most popular gauges of acoustic and electric guitar. They quit doing the banjo, and I believe quit doing the mandolin. I was never a huge fan of the mandolin because you had the 4 wound strings, so 2 Gs and 2 Ds were coated, and then you had the steel strings that, at the end, they started doing a treatment, like a nickel treatment to the string that made it last a little longer, but they weren't actually coated. So then those would be your strings that would rust and go dead quicker. So you're paying the Elixir premium for half of your set to be coated. So it didn't really make as much sense as it does with guitar, where you end up having, 4 strings that are coated and 2 that are just treated. And tone-wise, I didn't really like the tone so much either. So I've been a pretty big fan of the XS strings. Still, my main string that I use when I'm willing to change them as need be out of these LSB 250s from GHS. They're a silk and bronze string, a really cool deep woody tone to those. If you're wanting a kind of a medium light, we have these, where are they? Bobby Osborne, I guess that would be your medium light right there. So it's 11 through 38. So on the low E or G string, you have a pretty light gauge, and then it goes back to the same gauges that you would have on a standard regular medium set.
Somebody asked, does the Dario XS strings make a 12 to 56? Do they make a 12 to 56?
They do.
They do. Sick.
There it is right there. So that's kind of like the bluegrass gauges.
Somebody was requesting Ralph Stanley stickers.
That is something that Mark has talked about. That we have that. I think he's got that on his roadmap, and maybe a Stanley Brothers or just Ralph by himself. So it's on his radar. I love that Mark's doing this. He's a very enthusiastic. He works for the city of Springfield doing a lot of their event artwork and does some really cool graphic stuff. But he kind of discovered the mandolin. It's probably been 10 years ago. He was a student of mine and just really got into the culture and these historic figures. And he's done a great job at capturing. I haven't really got to study the details of the Jimmy Martin one, but in a lot of these he hides some of the secret stuff. You got what is this? Pines on the Hill. Anyway, Blue Moon of Kentucky. You got the Mule. You got a little cabin home on a hill. He's got all kinds of things hidden into the artwork.
I like the
In the Pines. Yeah, the Johnny Cash. We got Hi, my name is Sue. How do you do? Going to Jackson. All kinds of hidden stuff even in just those sections of it. So very, very talented artist, and very glad that he's associated with the shop. I love his Uncle Dave making as well. Is really cool. That's another recent one that he did. So yes, Ralph Stanley is on his radar. Just I'm not sure when he'll get that in there. These guys are tethered together, so every time Trent leaves or moves, Hinkley has to like follow behind because she got a leash on.
Are we ready to? I think we're about ready to go.
Are you guys loving how much my enthusiasm level reaches the same heights as Jackson and John Chapman? I'm sure I have that same personality that
We got some more sticker
my vocal
requests.
tones is very.
Sam Bush or Sierra Hull sticker request. We need to get Mark making that stuff.
I don't. Where's our Thiele one? I wonder. Are we out of those?
I have never seen it.
Okay, I've got a Thiele one. I will try to remember to grab that and bring it out. He used to make some Chris Thiele ones. I don't know if he's reprinted those, but I should ask him about those. He had a really cool Chris Thiele. Sierra Hull would be nice, and Sam Bush definitely would be. He did do a Sam Bush one just for, I think it was Sam Bush's birthday, and he just posted it on Facebook for Sam Bush to say, hey, happy birthday. I made a graphic image of you. A lot of times he does like to do people who are not living, just so he doesn't have anybody feeling like he's stealing their what would you call that, their artistic license.
Copyright or something?
Yeah.
Somebody did bring it up.
He did do one for Rhonda Vincent, and I think Rhonda's been selling some of those at her booth. But otherwise, he likes to get permission before doing living characters.
Have you ever played Mandolin with Sierra Hall? What did you think of her playing?
I have played Mandolin with Sierra Hull numerous times, even way back when she was just a little kid. She used to come, and even when she was playing downstairs at Dollar City, we had a long jam session at John's house. She came up to Nixa, and we played for a lot of hours. But we've known Sierra for probably 15 years, and I've got to play with her a number of times, and she's very intimidating how good she is and how clean she can play. And we went to the My Bluegrass Heart concert when it came to Springfield, Missouri, which is the Bela Fleck band they put together, and he had Sierra Hull when they were in Springfield. And my goodness, we also got to see her at Winfield right after that, and she just blew me away with the level of her playing. I mean, when you're on stage with, the top musicians in the world, obviously Bela Fleck setting that high bar, and she was at least keeping up and sometimes exceeding my expectations of those guys. So incredible, intimidating, but such a friendly person. And if you ever get a chance to meet her, she's got to be the sweetest personality you'll ever get to meet. So yes, I've got to play with her, and she's an incredible musician, incredible player, and intimidating.
I think we're about time to wrap it up.
All right, guys, thank you for being a part of Jeremy's Takeover Tuesday. We were going to have a guest today, but he left. So we'll try to get Austin on here next week. And I want you guys to get to know the staff a little bit more on a weekly basis. Yes?
Real quick, they've seen the Taz Decals. Are we going to get them back?
The what?
The Acoustic Shop Decals.
I would love to get those back. It's been a few years since we had those, and the one on the back of my car is finally starting to flake off. So we may start getting the decals back in here. The company we had doing it really got mad at us because you had to pick out all the parts of the logo that you didn't want on there, and the picking of that was, I guess, pretty time consuming, so we may have to redesign it a little bit so that there's less picking out pieces. But yes, that looked really cool. I'm going to talk to Jason, see if we can get that redesigned, and then we'll let you guys know as soon as that is out. But thank you for that request.
Yes.
And we will see you guys next week. I know my energy level, I'll try to step it up. I got to take like a few shots of Red Bull or something before this to keep up with the standard that you guys are used to. Or my personality, there's probably other people out there like me and not like John and Jackson. So, hey, there's room for all of us, isn't that right? And then Hinckley somewhere in between that. And then Trent, if you get him on stage, he's a madman. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be doing the live stream, the Shop Talk Next Door. That is at noon, so tune in for that, and we'll get to play some requests for you guys. And Thursday, John's going to do a new guitar Thursday, and we got a really cool, 1947 Martin that we just got in the shop, getting ready to, that should be online right now, but he'll be showcasing that on New Guitar Thursday, maybe even playing that tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the questions and interactions, and we'll see you guys next week.